Hi, my name is Jamal Robinson, and I'm a cloud solutions architect that works with IBM's BlueMix. I'm here today to give you an overview of our block storage service. To access it, I've logged into my IBM BlueMix account, and I'm at the dashboard where my services are shown to me. You can see that I already have the block storage service. For a first-time user, navigate to the catalog, where you can see the many services made available through BlueMix. To find block storage, click on Storage, where you'll find both block storage and object storage listed. Since I've already used a volume before and I have object storage on my dashboard, I'm going to click into block storage from my dashboard. From the initial screen, you can see I'm given different attributes like my volume count, the total size of all my volumes, how many snapshots I've made, along with the total size of all those snapshots, and if I have any errors with my block storage. To create a volume is very simple. Just click this Create button, give it a name, and then give it a size. For the purpose of this, I'm going to leave it at 1 gig and give it a brief description. And click Create. Soon we'll see that my fourth volume has now been added to my list of unattached volumes, and if I highlight it, under the actions I'll see all the things I can do to my volume. I can attach it to a VM, I can clone it or make a copy of it, I can extend it, which increases it in size and makes it go from 1 gig to however many gigs you need. I can create a snapshot of it and back that up, or I can delete it. Let's try and attach it to a VM. The list of existing VMs I have are already pre-populated here. I'm going to use my block storage VM. For the device path, I'll leave blank and click Attach. I can now see that my fourth volume has moved from the unattached volumes into the attached volumes. If I scroll down and hit the drop-down menu, I can see different attributes about that attached volume. I'm now going to log into my VM to utilize that volume. I'll SSH into my VM. Now that I'm in the VM, I'll take a look at my devices listed. I know from earlier the device that I care about is VDB. If you've forgotten where we got that information, look at the drop-down, and under device it tells us what path it mounted the volume, which is VDB in my case. So I'm going to create a partition on that disk, then run part probe, and now I want to make a file system and mount it. First I make the file system, then I make the directory that I want to mount the volume to, and then I mount the volume. Now my volume's been mounted successfully. In that directory I can make a new file. Showing that I've successfully mounted a volume, created a file system for it, and added a file to it. At the user interface, we also have other options other than just attaching a volume. As mentioned before, we can highlight a volume, and we can go to our action list and choose to extend it. It's currently 2 gigs, I can extend it to 3 gigs or whatever size is necessary. Now my second volume is listed as 5 gigs rather than 2 gigs. I also have an option to make a snapshot of a volume. So in this case, I want to make a snapshot of my third volume. Let's choose Create Snapshot. Now I add snap to it to indicate that it's a snapshot. Notice my snapshot count is updated. Now when I click on the Snapshots tab, I can see my third volume dash snap. From the drop-down menu, I can see information about the snapshot. If I highlight any one of these snapshots, I have the option to create a volume from it or delete. So let's delete my second volume snapshot. And now that's been removed from the snapshot list and my count has been updated from 2 to 1. And now if I highlight my third one, I have the option to create another volume from that. Let's call it my fifth volume and click Create. Now my volume count updates from 4 to 5, and anything that was on that third volume that we took a snapshot of now exist on a fifth volume, called my fifth volume, that another VM can attach to itself and utilize any files on that volume. Similar to snapshots, if we wanted to delete a volume, we could highlight one and from the drop-down choose delete while it's selected, or we could highlight multiple and from the drop-down choose delete. Or let's say we had 100 volumes and it wasn't easy to navigate and find which volume we needed specifically. There is a search function which allows you to click in this box and I can search for something like third and it brings up my third volume. I could highlight that and then delete it. If you had any other questions about the features or capabilities of block storage or just needed some general help, click on Docs. BlueMix is smart enough to know that you clicked on Docs from the block storage page and it'll automatically bring you to the block storage information. We keep this up to date with any information about block storage, like the upcoming Sender API capabilities, which allow you to add or detach or delete a volume from the command line tool. This has been a brief overview of block storage in IBM's BlueMix. I hope that this has been helpful, and thanks for watching.